Hey guys, welcome. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about how to use Pinterest as a beginner. Make sure to hit that like button so that more people can find this video, as well as subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And with that, let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you just an overview, introduction to the Pinterest app, how this works. So right now I'm logged into my desktop app, and that's how most of you are going to be using it, especially if you're using Pinterest for marketing and not just for personal purposes. So first things first, when you log into your account, you're going to see this sort of feed, right? So it's like an endless feed which you can just keep scrolling and it just never ends. So unlike Google, which is also a search engine where you have pages and you can scroll back and forth, Pinterest is sort of this endless stream of inspiration. And the reason why they keep it like this is because they really want their users to spend a lot of time discovering articles, products, shop on Pinterest, connect with people and all of that. And that's also why Pinterest can be a very, very addictive app, especially if you are a user who, is looking for things on Pinterest. It can be very hard to pull yourself away from it. And that is precisely what makes it such an amazing app or a platform to get traffic and to get leads and sales, because when someone is paying a lot of attention and is very absorbed and is very interested in a platform, then they're obviously likely to convert that much faster. And Pinterest users have been known to convert much faster. They are known to be very, not prone to shopping, but they are more prone to spending compared to users, let's say, on Google. And also because people generally go on Pinterest to find inspiration or information. And what happens after you find information or inspiration is that you take action on it, right? So when you log in, you're going to see your home feed. This is basically an endless stream of ideas. And as you can see, the pins here are not really just random pins. They are an assortment of different pins that Pinterest thinks are items or topics that I'm interested in. So basically, these are different pins that are from accounts that I'm following, as well as maybe things that I liked, including sponsored content as well. So for example, you can see here there's a pin which says promoted by Everdrop. So that is again a sponsored pin. And in the Pinterest ads masterclass, you're going to learn more about all of that. But in general, you will obviously have some ads because that is common across most media platforms that are monetized. And for example, here you can see another promoted pin on social media. But in general, these are pins from people that I'm following, or basically interesting ideas that maybe I was looking at or, checking out on Pinterest. So based on that history, Pinterest will continue to revise it. So again, this is a feed which is completely dynamic. It changes all the time. It is not something that, for example, it will be static. Like, for example, on Google, rankings are generally quite sticky and they tend to be there for a while. However, on Pinterest, things are very dynamic and they move very fast, which is also why new content and fresh content gets to rank pretty fast on Pinterest versus, let's say, some other platforms like Google, right? So here is another tab called Today, which basically gives you an overview of what's trending today, some inspiration. Again, this could be customized to who you are and what you do, but usually there are going to be certain things that will be common across the world. So for example, some recipe ideas, some articles, some shopping, things that are trending, like maybe a musician. For example, when Harry Styles released the Golden video, he was trending on Pinterest. So, his hair was trending for some reason in a lot of places. So basically, again, this is dynamic and changes all the time. And this, I would say, is more a tab for users on Pinterest who are looking for, things to read and to pin. For you as a marketer or as a business owner or as a blogger, this only makes sense when you look at it from an inspiration perspective. So let's say that you are a finance blogger. Maybe this might interest you. It says cost saving ideas you probably never thought of. You can click through and then you can just see what are the pins that are showing up in this particular idea. So again, this can give you an idea of what the general mood is of the audience. And if you are a broad, let's say, if you have a broad Pinterest account, you can really swap through for inspiration and see what are the things that are popping out, what is trending. So for example, tinted moisturizer is trending in skincare. Again, this is very, very niche specific, obviously, but what this does is kind of like an editorial section of Pinterest. So Pinterest's, let's say, editors or content creating directors are responsible for showcasing this. And it, of course, changes every day. But it's an interesting thing to look at, especially if you're looking for seasonal content inspiration or just looking at what people are looking at, on a just an overview kind of thing. So think of it as your daily newspaper for Pinterest, so to speak, right? Then you can go into your following tab, which is all the people you do follow. And let's see all of the content that they have created. Now, this tends to be usually more chronological in the sense that the latest pins are going to be showing up on the top and then the oldest at the bottom. The reason why is because sometimes you are on Pinterest just to follow certain influencers or brands and you just want to see what they've been up to. So in that sense, this is a feed where you can go and really dig into this whole, not whole literally, but like to dig into this whole aspect of who are the people that you are following and what is it that they're creating. Again, an excellent way to keep an eye on your top competitors, because you can also see what are the products that they're sharing, how are they listing them, how are they taking photographs for them, right? What kind of content your competitors are creating. So again, excellent way to keep a tab on things that are going on Pinterest as well as on your competitors. So if you are a business owner or someone who is just has bigger brands or or influencers in that niche, you can keep an eye on them by checking that out as well. All right, so this is your home feed scenario. Let's go back and check into your profile. So for example, you can see there are different ways to navigate on the top here, and there's also here your account where you can just click on this image here and it will take you to your profile. So here's me on my profile, and Pinterest has now changed, so it experiments a lot with the layout, and depending on when you're seeing this video, there might be things that have been newly added. Sometimes features get tested for a long time before they appear in everyone's app. Sometimes they're very country specific or region specific, and sometimes they just come and go as they wish. So story pins, for example, have disappeared and appeared in my account many times, and it's the same experience with a lot of other creators. So I don't take that too seriously, because I know that at the end of the day, it is a social media platform as well, and they're always finding the best ways to create the best experience, which means that there are going to be changes every now and then. So as you can see, I have my profile here, my name of the website that I have, the topics and categories that I talk about, some examples here of exactly what I do. I've added a call to action, so I've added a Pinterest checklist. Again, something I highly recommend you do in your account. You can also click here and go directly to the website if you're looking for that. You can look into my followers, who I'm following, things like that. And then there are two different sections, main sections, that you will find here. So here's the created section, which means all of the pins that I've created recently on this account, so including stories, videos, and all of that. So here you'll see first my story pins or my video pins, and then you will see all the other image pins, right, which is usually the pins that you're probably most familiar with. And then if you've connected your account to your RSS feed, you might also get images like this. So this is my blog featured image, which just sort of popped up because I've connected my account to the RSS feed, which I will show you quickly as well. And that's why it is popping up. It's not something that I uploaded per se. Most of these pins I've actually uploaded from this account, or my manager has uploaded from this account, and that's why they're showing up. You will also see here a section of scheduled pins. So as you can see, when I click through, you can see that these 4 pins are scheduled for later today or tomorrow. And you can do this also via Pinterest. And I do teach this when I teach the creating a pin section and all of that. So basically you can schedule pins out for, let's say, the next 2 weeks if you want. If you need to schedule it for more than 2 weeks, you have to use a paid tool like TAILWInd, which we also talk in a lot of other videos about. But for now, let's go back into the profile and just finish completing this section. So when you go here, you will see the saved section. Now the saved section is basically what I have saved to my account. So essentially, in other words, this is all of the boards that I'm a part of, because normally when you're uploading a pin on Pinterest, you save it to a certain board, right? And a board is essentially any category of content that you decide to name at. So for example, I have created boards like beauty and health tips, daily habits to improve yourself, how to save money, weight loss tips, things like that. And then I also have a ton of group boards that I'm a part of, as you can see here, which have multiple people that are contributing to that board. So basically this shows you in your account all of the boards that you have, and again, is a great way to spy on your competitors. If you want to see what they're up to, what kind of boards they're creating, what kind of content they're creating, you can just double click and go and see what they're up to, right? So this is the board, for example, on France travel tips. It's a personal board, it's not a group board, but this can be one of the ways that you actually look at other influencers and brands on Pinterest to see what they're doing. Essentially, it's also a good place for you to see which boards you have recently pinned to. So basically, they show up in order of recent pinning. So if you haven't saved a pin to that board, it's not going to show up at the top. So Pinterest basically wants to show the most fresh content or the most freshly saved pins at the top. So you're always going to find the boards where where I've actually recently saved content to, and not the boards where I haven't saved anything to. So you'll see that these ones I haven't saved anything for a while, so they're not showing up in the top of my account. Another thing here is that you can also see, if you want to check all of the pins of a particular account or your account, you can click through and check all the pins that have ever been historically posted. Again, depending on how long you've been on Pinterest, this could run into hundreds of thousands of pins. For me, I think it's almost 200,000 pins, because I've had this account for a while now and I've posted obviously a lot. I've even posted content from other people's, profiles and things like that. So of course you are going to see that as well. So this is the overview for your profile and, let's say, the home feed that you have, right? So these are the things that you will see here. The other thing that's very interesting when you have a business account is that you have access to a lot of insights and analytics. And as you can see, you have a business hub here. So you have some shortcuts, like if you want to create a pin, you can just kickstart and create a pin. If you want to set up billing, let's say you want to run ads on Pinterest in the future, then you can set up billing as well. You can see an overview of some of the recent pins that I've created, what they're, what their numbers and impressions look like, some of the top pins that I've created, what their impressions look like. I can see if I have any ads running, what are the ads, how are the ads performing, and then there's a section for resources that is of course dynamically changing as well. I generally don't read this or use this a lot because I'm generally reading directly on the Pinterest blog or on the engineering blog about what's up, but of course you do have access to those insights as well. On the create section is of course the content creation tools that you have. So you have create a pin. As you can see, here is where you just upload a pin, you add your title, you add your description, you can add your destination link, and then you can publish either at immediately in a certain board, or you can publish at a later date as well, right? So I'm going to do a separate tutorial on this so you can figure out exactly how this works. But very quickly, just to show you how this works, let's say that we add one pin, a quick pin that can be added. It's not going to be something super specific, but let's say that you want to add this pin, which is a video pin, and then you can just say 8 self-care habits to follow. So you're going to learn more about how to create pins and descriptions and all of the technical bits in this, because there is a lot to know, but I'm just going to quickly show you how that works so you know how the platform works. So I'm just going to say learn how to practice self-care daily to change your life. Yeah. And of course, this is a video pin, so it's also showing me tags here. So I can look at tags or categories that I want to add this pin to. So I'm going to look for self-care. I'm going to look for things like self-love, things like that, personal development, maybe it also falls into that category. So again, since this is a video pin, it's showing me tags. If it's not a video pin, this option will not appear. I will show you that as well. And here's where I will add the URL, and then I will decide which board that I want to publish it to, as well as the time that I want to publish it. So let's say I want to publish it at a later date, or publish immediately, right? If I want to publish it right now in real time, I can click this option, or if I want to schedule it for later, I can click, let's say I want to schedule it for 17th December at 12 p.m. I can add the link, and then I can take the board that I want to save it to, let's say Indian Girling, which is my brand board, and then I can just click on publish, and then it will be published, right? Just doing this so that you can see how that works. I'm not really going to publish this pin, but you can see that it will show up in schedule pins after it's approved. Now, video pins usually do take a while for them to be approved, so they can take, let's say, up to 24 hours to show up, and that's why it won't be automatically showing up in your account. So let's see how that looks like for an image pin. So let's say you have an image pin, really normal. You're going to add the title, so 12 Best Podcasts, let's say, and you're going to add the description as well. You are going to learn more about pin descriptions and hashtags in separate videos in the later stages. And then, of course, you can add a destination link, and you can also add hashtags if you want. Again, something we talk a lot of details of in the later videos. 12 best podcasts to learn and follow for women, let's say. And then, like I said, you can either publish it immediately or publish it at a later date. Totally depends on you. Select the board that you would like to go it to. Should be the most relevant board here. So let's say that I want to add it to tips for women, because it is it is an article which is targeting women. And then I can go ahead and publish that as I want. Interestingly enough, you have a very, very cool feature which is called analytics, where you actually get to do a deep dive into what's working out in your account, what's not working out, which pins are doing well, what are your top boards, right? So you can swipe through and see your top boards. You can see your top pins. You can rank them by just your website. You can rank them by organic, or if you have, let's say, running ads, you can do that by paid ads as well. If you upload videos, you're going to see the performance of those videos as well here. So Pinterest is heavily focusing on video pins, especially for reaching more people, because the whole world is moving towards video content. So if you create video pins, you will find specific analytics for those pins. You can see it was organic, how long the pin was, how many impressions the pin had, and so on and so forth. Again, analytics we discuss in a lot of detail in one of the other classes, so you're going to learn it there as well. This is just to give you an overview of how the app works, right? So you can select for specific devices, and last but not the least, you can also select days. So you can see what's working in the last 7 days specifically, right? So was there a video that did really well in the last 7 days, what that video was all about? You can click through and see, oh, this is what the video was all about, and this is how it did, right? So I got video views, saves, and all of that. Again, the challenge with video pins is that you can't really click through to them as of now. Maybe that changes in the future, and that's why they're great for impressions and engagement, and they get you likes and comments and stuff, but they don't really convert into traffic or leads that quickly, right? Okay, so you can also see audience insights, another one of my personal favorite things about Pinterest. It gives you so much information on who is following you on Pinterest, what are the categories that they're interested in. And you can use this information to create boards. You can use this information to create pins. You can do a lot of market research based on this to figure out what your next product or service should be as well. So I'm going to go into a lot of detail in the Pinterest analytics section, but just to give you an overview, you can find here the categories and interests of your audience. You can also select it to be your engaged audience, so people who are clicking through and interacting with your pins. You can see what is it that's really striking gold with them, right? So they're interested in finance and quotes, etc. Percentage of audience is simply how much of your audience is interested in something, and affinity is how likely they are to respond to a certain topic, right? So how much are they interested? So the higher the affinity, obviously, the more, let's say, the more hot that topic is, and the larger the number of audience, again, the more people that you can reach with that topic. So the ideal combination for content should always be with a high affinity and a large percentage of your audience. However, this section is only limited to people who are already following you and not to other people. So you can also click through here and you can see what is the total Pinterest users audience like, what do they like doing, what are their interests, and so on and so forth, right? So for example, if you're a home decor blogger, you can see that 68% of people on Pinterest are interested in home decor, right? Big surprise. Nobody's really surprised in that. And then you can see what are the specific subcategories of that interest. Again, something very, very interesting when you're doing market research. Let's say you are thinking of what should I offer from my web store. You can see kitchen cabinets are interested in 3% of the people, flooring, all different things. So again, a great place for you to get inspiration, create content, figure out what are people interested in, what is trending. So of course, this is data that Pinterest gives you completely for free with a business account, and you cannot find this anywhere else on any other platform the way that you can on Pinterest, which makes it absolutely a stellar platform to leverage for marketing and for business. Again, you can also see the age breakup. So as you can see, there are lots of people in the 18 to 24 age group. Then 69% is female. Again, not a big shocker there. You can see the top metros that people are located in. So of course, Pinterest is quite US and Canada heavy. So you will see a lot of people that are from North America, but that's actually not the only people that are there. There are people from all over the world that are on Pinterest, and it's growing by the minute, right? And as you can see, about 25% are male, which is pretty good as well for if you have, a business or a blog that targets a male audience as well. And then some people haven't specified their genders, which is fine. They could be either in your focus category or not. You can check the devices as well. So again, very, very helpful feature to see how things are going on, what you can do. You can also see where you rank versus the total Pinterest audience. So like, for example, how is my audience doing in comparison to other people's audiences? So how much more interested my audience is in financial planning and things like that versus the total Pinterest audience. Again, excellent tool if you are a business owner doing any kind of, trying to make money on this platform or through this platform by leveraging it. excellent information and insights for you to look into in your particular niche or category, right? All right, and then you have conversion insights, again tagged to your ads and to checkouts and things like that. Specifically, you can check video insights, so we already I think saw that and spoke about that. And then you can click through on trends and see what are the trends that are going on right now. These trends are only limited to US, UK and Canada. We are hoping that this will change and they will have more countries available in the future, but of course Pinterest is rolling it out step by step depending on the affinity of the country to use that. So I expect this to get larger, and we will have more regional insights for Brazil, India, all the bigger markets that Pinterest is targeting. However, right now it's only limited pretty much to US, UK and Canada. But if you do have an audience in one of these countries or plan to sell to one of these countries, or better yet, if you're based in one of these countries, you have access to so many different things that you can see on this tool. So you can see all the trends, you can see the week's top trends, so you can see what is trending. Small Business Saturday was trending, and then you can see trending ideas, everything in different categories that are interested. You can also type in and see something that you're interested in. So let's say you want to see what are people searching for in terms of gardening, then you can click through and then you can see the results for that and then really see how that's working out. You can even compare those terms and see which term is getting more traffic. So as you can see, gardening ideas have more traction than just gardening. Growing vegetables, you can keep adding these different things. Very cool. If you're a data-driven person, you're gonna love this tool, as I do as well. I'm not a data nerd, but I really love analyzing data and understanding what it's telling me, because I really believe in working smart and not in working hard. So if you can use this data to leverage what type of content you should be creating and where your customers are and what they're interested in, then you already hit the jackpot, right? And then you can of course click through to your account and just get in and check all of your settings. So you can also, for example, claim your websites. You can update things here. You can claim your website if you have one. If you don't have one, that's also fine. You can also claim your Instagram account, your Etsy, your YouTube, your Shopify, all of these things. You can bulk create pins if you are someone who has, let's say, if you're an e-commerce owner and you have thousands of pins, and you can create a CSV file and you can do that as well. They have some information for that. You can fix your notification settings, how often you want to be notified, privacy and data, security, and connected apps. So anything else that you have connected to this particular profile. So that's it for me for this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about using Pinterest. Make sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to watch more such videos on how to grow your audience, income, and impact online. I'll see you in the next one.